Welcome to KuztumOGT. Oz the Army. Oz. The little island that could. And Kiwis. Shout out to everyone. We miss you guys. And blokes and Sheilas. And the young people that don't say that. But I don't think Skyhooker. Wait a minute. I don't think they are young.
No, they're I think they were formed a year before I was born. So, wow. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
From Dave. Yeah. Our Australian representation on our Discord, Dave and Oz. Dave's an awesome guy. An awesome bloke.
You read the flag, the Bundaberg, and the ginger beer. I see shit everywhere. All right, so I forget what the name of this is, but it is a documentary about Skyhook. And is it Skyhook or Hooks?
I thought it was Skyhooks.
Was that S?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I guess I can look on my hat. All right. So we are going to learn about them.
Let's do
about
it.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
So,
we did a reaction to Women in Uniform, and that song kicked ass. So definitely looking forward to finding out about this band.
Yeah, I'm going to take our logo up there. I'm not sure where this was from, like a channel or something. I mean, I'm sure it was a channel, but yeah, I don't know. Right.
30 years ago, they say Australian music came of age. A local group's first LP headed the charts for 4 months, selling 300...
Oh, I got to fix that little gap. All right, sorry, mate. Bloke, she was back.
100,000 copies. Their second album did even better, making its debut at... 30 years ago, they say Australian music came of age. A local group's first LP headed the charts for 4 months, selling 300,000 copies. Their second album did even better, making its debut at #1. The group was, of course, Skyhooks, whose explosion onto the music scene in outrageous costumes and full makeup delighted their audiences and outraged conservatives. Skyhooks guitarist was Red Symons, who left the group in 1977 and made a new career in the media. He joins us now to remember the 70s world of Skyhooks.
Damn, that was an old phone. So,
Yeah.
the fucking guitar player left the band to become a news anchor.
Yeah. That's
Okay. And that's
strange
who's
career.
going to tell us about it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I'm glad I got...
He's sowing his oats or living his, whatever, his other life.
Yeah, that is a strange career move, but yeah, it is cool that they got actually a member of the band who is, member of the news media to collaborate on this. So
Yeah, it is cool because like racing, they usually have the older race car drivers do the commentary, and football, they have the older football players do the commentary. So, or it's football here, guys.
Hello? A couple of months ago, a friend rang to announce he was taking me on a mystery flight. And so, intrigued, I found myself on an evening flight to Maroochydore on Queensland's Sunshine Coast with overnight luggage and sensible walking shoes, as instructed. In the morning, we set off southward and then turned away from the coast into the hinterland, where bitumen gave way to dirt.
Do not leave the coastline. Do not go inward without a road train.
We drove as far as we could to the edge of a mountain. The rest was on foot. From there we scuttled 3 perilous steps at a time down the hill clutching at the lantana to arrest any fall. Eventually, we arrived at our inevitable destination, where it all ended. There, in the tangle of undergrowth overlooking the farmlets of the Sunshine Coast, was the wreckage of a helicopter, the last flight of Graham Strawn, Shirley to his friends, and that was pretty much everybody.
In the last moments before the helicopter he was piloting came crashing down, Shirley was pursuing a dream.
A woman would ask, "How did you feel?" But I'd felt about it and thought about it enough over the years that there was no sudden revelation. This was simply this, a piece of broken metal in the undergrowth, like a car wreck or a beer can. And besides, since the company was entirely male, the question asked was, "What do you think happened?" As though answering that question would change anything.
I'm living in the 70s, eating fake food under plastic trees. My face gets dirty just walking around. I need another pill to calm me down. I feel a bit nervous. I feel a bit mad. I feel like a good time that's never been had. I feel a bit fragile.
30 years ago, we were all kids, living in the hinterland, the leafy outlying regions of Melbourne, dreaming of the big smoke. Places like the Dandenongs, Eltham, Warrandyte. And bands used to play places like the Research Hall. Now, I'm pretty sure that that's the Research Hall, but after 30 years, it's really hard to tell. The Skyhooks, like all 70s bands, were a product of the 60s. When Dad came back from the war, he created a bulge in the demographic, and subsequently the population explosion heralded a pop explosion in the stoned and beatled 1960s. Sound travels at 1,200 kilometres per hour, but it took a decade for the effects to reach Australia. The 60s had been an era of political conservatism and cultural colonialism.
Time for freedom, time for moving.
It was Whitlam's 70s that saw Australian music find its feet and hit its stride. As Gough observed, it was about time. Billy Thorpe's generic blues for fighting in pub car parks gave way to songs about middle-class ballroom, bohemian Carlton and snobbish and self-conscious Toorak. It was time for the Skyhooks, as it turned out. It began with two schoolmates, Greg McCainch and Freddie Strauchs.
Fred and I went to Norwood High School in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, and I first met up with him, I think, in 1961. We were in first form together. Everyone wanted to play the guitar, and we formed a high school band called the Spare Parts and played at the school fete and church dances. And Fred was a singer in those bands, and then we realised he was a much better drummer, and eventually he switched.
The Skyhooks played their first gig here at St Jude's Hall in Carlton in 1973. I was here, but I wasn't in the band. I was in the other band called Scumbag. The Skyhooks lineup at that stage was Steve Hill on vocal and included Peter Starkey as a guitarist. Curiously, I'd both lived in a shared household with Peter and learned a lot about playing the guitar from him. I'd also been in pure maths tutorials at Melbourne University with him. Strangely enough, it was his younger brother Bob that I ended up playing.
Did they say pure math?
It really sounded like that.
Oh, they did. That's cool though. What is that name was? Spare Parts and
Scumbag.
Scumbag, yeah. That's crazy. So I'm gathering he's a member of Skyhooks. Or is
Yes.
that the guy? Is that the reporter guy?
No, this is a different fellow, I think. This is a really well-produced documentary. I like I like how they're covering different, sort of jumping back and forth between time periods. I like how they're using all the old photos and footage, and I sort of like how they're taking the time to sort of set the stage by bringing in what the culture was like back then. Because a lot of times that kind of makes bands. Bands are a product of their culture, and they become elevated by either representing their culture perfectly or by representing the exact opposite and pushing against it. Skyhooks seemed like they dropped at a time to wake everybody up.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the Kiss of Australia, but I don't know. I don't really know about even Kiss. Just definitely aesthetic-wise, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely.
Those bands, and then we realised he was a much better drummer, and eventually he switched.
The Skyhooks played their first gig here at St Jude's Hall in Carlton in 1973. I was here, but I wasn't in the band. I was in the other band called Scumbag. The Skyhooks lineup at that stage was Steve Hill on vocal and included Peter Starkey as a guitarist. Curiously, I'd both lived in a shared household with Peter and learned a lot about playing the guitar from him. I'd also been in pure maths tutorials at Melbourne University with him. Strangely enough, it was his younger brother Bob that I ended up playing with.
My brother played in the band, and he told me one day he was playing this band called Skyhooks, but he's going to leave. He was going off to play with Joe Camilleri, backing a stripper up on the West Coast. And he said, "Oh, come along and check it out." I think on the way home I said, "Oh, well, if you're leaving, you reckon I should audition?" He said, "Oh, well, give it a go." So I did. I put my hand up, and I think Greg hired me basically because he had no one else.
It has been said that bands are either successful immediately or not at all. My first gig with the Skyhooks was at a community hall in Lethe Research. We were the last act and the only ones to employ the curtain. When it opened, the entire audience suddenly stood, mouths gaping and red eyes widening at the spectacle of drag and makeup.
They're all staying home on the weekends. They're all doing what they're told.
I love that. That's the rebellion. They're all staying home on the weekend. They're all doing what they're told. I know a band that wore drag too. Tool, yeah, that's right. Maynard had titties all the time. Yeah, so I can relate. A dick on my arm. That was really sad about Shirley. What they didn't say, but so living a dream, flying the helicopter. Was that the first time they flew the helicopter? I guess that's what I'm wondering. So if it don't tell us, let us know. It sounded like it. It's like they were saying.
Yeah, it did, and yeah, a lot of rockers seem to like flying. Bruce Dickinson flies an airplane. Chris DeGarmo, commercial pilot.
I like to fly, man.
Yeah.
Pilot,
yeah. Highs in many ways. David Gilmour was a licensed pilot, so yeah, it's common, so it wouldn't surprise me. Just between Shirley and Stevie Ray Vaughan, helicopters are dangerous for rockers. Rock in paradise, Shirley.
The dressing up and the costume idea was something that I sort of wanted to do because there were a lot of bands in Melbourne who were good, but they just didn't really interest me to look at. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go out and see a band, what would I like to see? So the dressing up thing evolved.
I certainly loved the fact that they were so original, so different, and so unique. And really, when I started Mushroom Records, that's what it was all about.
Mushroom Records. Hell yeah.
After seeing them a few times, I loved the fact that the music was proud to be Australian, about Australia, and I loved the fact that everybody was wearing blue jeans and they weren't.
Man, if y'all tell me y'all ain't been in blue jeans, I'm gonna fucking play something with y'all. I'm just kidding. If this is the first time you watch it, we're honorary Aussies, so we've been down the toilet and back with y'all. Yeah. I know everything is Aussie when you get there. I'm cool with that. Like I said, I got shit from Oz everywhere. I got some eucalyptus over there somewhere.
And if you've ever been in Danny's apartment, it might as well be the Outback. There's a lot of things there that will kill you. Passively, but it will definitely kill you.
Mushroom Records, I love that.
Music Festival in 1974, with our biggest audience yet, was the Watershed. Prancing around in fey op-shop velvet capes with melting mascara in the mid-afternoon sun was as challenging for the audience as it was for the band. The "yous are all poofs" response was as demoralising as it was ungrammatical. Singer Steve Hill, sensing a lack of support from the rest of us, questioned his role in the band. We answered his question by not answering the question, and he duly left.
How's Melbourne tonight? Okay, we got a little song about the Turak boys. Well, he's a bitty playboy. Turak cowboy, yes he is.
Add to the mix an apprentice carpenter whose surfing mates had awarded him the highest accolade that sporting male Australia can bestow, a girl's name, and we were on our way. Even if some people looked like a poof.
I said that was a girl. And nobody really gave me hell, so that's why. I mean, it is a girl's name. Wait a minute, ain't that? No, Sheila's is what they call girls' name. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. I like his voice, though.
Oh, he's got a great voice. All kinds of charisma, too.
Yeah, he reminds me of like a male. I don't know, she might be more male than him, but Chrissy Amplet, like the Divinals.
Yeah, I can see the sort of similarities there.
Yeah,
but a kill for a duet, that would have been awesome.
That'd be cool.
People think you can't because of your accent.
Let me assure you, viewers, I am not a poofter.
Okay, something happened back around 1970. The Revolution.
I think Shirley brought to the message, he was just a natural. Of course, he had a phenomenal personality. It was very engaging. It was a perfect addition, really. You couldn't have got a better mix.
Living in the 70s. Have you heard of it? How many of you bought it, though, eh? I'm living in the 70s.
Shirley joined in March 74. Living in the 70s was recorded in June, released in August, and by October.
Hey, but right when they got on the color TV screen, like Oz got color TV up like 6 years after most of the rest of the world, I think.
Look this up.
It was either 73 or 75. Because AC/DC sings about it in their song.
1975, they transitioned to color television.
Oh, yeah.
March 1st. Yep.
October had hit #1. With the kind assistance of the Federation of Australian Broadcasters, who banned 6 of the 10 tracks, it stayed on the charts for 40 weeks and sold an unprecedented 250,000 copies. 20 times gold.
Living in the 70s had a line in it about a call girl, which Ross Wilson said, look, you better change that. That's the title track of the album. It'd be nice if we got some airplay. So we changed it to, I used to say, I feel like a call girl that's never been had. So we changed it to, I feel like a good time that's never been had.
I'm living in the 70s. I'm living in the 70s.
It was laughable. We thought maybe you might get, you just like me because I'm good in bed band or something like that. Oh, smut, obviously. We thought that was definitely going to go belly up. But to get, I think we got 6 band. And that was just like pennies from heaven, because if you're sort of trying to sell trinkets to teenagers, that was just fantastic.
You just like me 'cause I'm good in bed. You just like me 'cause I'm good in bed.
I need some heads, those.
The first song 2JJ, later Triple J, ever played was You Just Like Me 'Cause I'm Good in Bed. It was Australian, attention-grabbing, and since Double J was part of the ABC, it could cock a snoot at the commercial broadcasters who banned it.
I came in one day.
What do they say? You just like me some good in bed. That's in my head, I think. Cock a snoot, does that mean kiss my ass or flip the bird or something like cock a snoot?
Need Dave here.
Got cock in it. I think I heard Dave say that.
It's actually primarily British. According to this, it means to express contempt, disrespect, or defiance.
Man.
Often through a rude gesture.
It's Australian.
And my staff were just freaking out. We've got a letter from the Australian Broadcasting Commission, you know, a letterhead. They're going to ban half the album. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You know, I said, we're going to do? Simple as this. I've never had an album in my life or heard one that they play all the tracks off that album. Let's be happy. They can only play 6. If you want to hear the other 6, they're going to have to buy it. So it really was a blessing in disguise, and it was something that just added fuel to the whole controversy of the Skyhooks.
I do sometimes find myself driving around town. I've got the kids in the car and I'll say, you know, 30 years ago when Daddy was doing quite well in a pretty successful band, we used to play, and I realise that place isn't there anymore. Happily, the Ormond Hall, is still exactly as it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Wherever we went, teenage girls who were coming to grips with their own sexuality sought some wisdom from ours. A lot of sobbing and screaming went on.
How many of you are 13 years of age?
Mike Willisey, who sought to promote what he was appalled by, invited us onto his program.
So we've got 13 and 14-year-olds, and you sing about things like orgasms and masturbation.
Oh, they probably know all about that. Yeah, see, the girl says, we're not naive.
Do you ever feel any responsibility about that? Would it bother you if you thought that you did lead youngsters astray?
Is orgasm and masturbation necessarily astray?
That,
I mean, we all do it, don't we?
Wholesome.
Come on. Go on. Tell the people in there.
All right.
Yeah, go on, do you?
So you're at the show.
I love the Aussie attitude, though, man. I just watched where the same thing happened to Ozzy Osbourne. He was caught on a talk show, and they told him, do you feel responsible for the people worshiping the devil or whatever? He's like, no, I don't worship the damn devil. Yes, but that was a better comeback.
That's what these people don't seem to understand, that if you want, there's nothing more effective than to make these bands successful and to make people want to hear it, and even defy their parents or whatever to go out and catch them live or buy a CD, is to ban it, to create some sort of controversy around it, because it's going to be like, what's that? What are they talking about? What? That the old people don't like it? What? The establishment doesn't like it? What? Let me see that. I want to hear that shit. So still haven't. Controversy creates cash. Yeah.
The parental advisory label was the prime example of that.
Yep.
They went through all that hell to get that put through, and when they did it, it made the albums with that on it like twice as.
Yeah. They might as well just put "buy this" on the sticker.
Yeah.
Living in the 70s coincided with the advent of colour TV in Australia, and Horror Movie was broadcast on the first day of colour transmission on Countdown in 1975. We were riding a wave that we had created, perched aloft, waiting for it to break. When in doubt, escalate. We signed a deal for $1.5 million with Polygram Records to tour the US and recorded a third album in 60 cities in 60 days as a support act, playing for 20 minutes before middle-level English acts like Uriah Heep. We didn't make a big impression.
Hey!
We should have gone overseas a lot earlier. If I would have known back then what I know now, they could have been bigger than Kiss ever were.
One take a surfer to the snow.
I think in terms of the band, it didn't augur well.
Kiss fucking sucks, okay? Nothing about Kiss was good. Their music, their lyrics, even Gene Simmons says it. I suck at lyrics. Their lyrics make no fucking sense half the time. There's like 2 good Kiss songs, period. And one of them just says, I want to rock and roll all day, over and over and over. Yeah, Kiss sucks, man. I mean, but
the Kiss is it's a marketing exercise more than anything. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. They can sell, whatever, ice Eskimos or Bibles to church people, whatever. I don't know.
It was the first time we'd been on the road together for, I think we were away for nearly 6 months or something like that, if my memory serves me well. And I don't think we'd been on the road for more than 3 weeks ever together. The guy got kicked out of the band twice, but never left. I think it was the beginning of the end. I think the reality hit that to make it in America, you'd have to do that for 4 or 5 years.
The wave had broken, and if we were to succeed in America, it was clear we would have to relocate and adapt. I don't think we could really be bothered. I can remember exactly where I was, in Atlanta, Georgia, in bushland, just like this, in 1976, where it suddenly dawned on me that I wasn't really enjoying it anymore. It was just work. Bands finish as they start, shedding members one by one. I left in 77, Shirley in 78, and in 1980, the Skyhooks disbanded forever and went away. For a minute. Through the 80s, we reformed a number of never-to-be-repeated times. In 84, on the anniversary of the first album, we played to 25,000 people at Olympic Park. Who would have thought that band of the 70s could squeeze out one more number one? Jukebox in Siberia, 16 years later in 1990. On the strength of it, we played 6 days a week for 3 months, and for the last time.
When coming from the cold to that jukebox in Siberia, how loudest a brick person is waiting for you. You just my wife, she that screw.
There was definitely a chemistry there, whatever that is, whatever brought us guys together. It's something I only really recognised in latter years, is after we'd stopped playing with each other for a number of years. Sometimes we'd come back after about 5 years of not playing together, and we'd just slot in a room, and it was just like, whatever that chemistry is, it was certainly there.
It was just weird that Australia, which is now such a proud, happy country, really felt that the import was better. And I think that the Skyhooks really helped change that, and Australian music really thrived after them. We achieved that much here, and we had that much fun, and there'd be most probably no Mushroom Records today without the Skyhooks.
I'm singing in my own band.
It all came back when Shirley died, which was really sad. You know, the realisation that, we can no longer be together again. And then you think of, just the way Red and Shirl worked together. There were some magic moments there, that basically on stage, in front of a crowd, taking the piss out of each other. And it happened in lots of places, and I think they were the best moments.
When my ageing contemporaries wistfully wonder what it might have been like to be in a successful, hugely successful rock band, I have the satisfaction of knowing. Thankfully, in the fast burn of 70s stardom, it was over quickly enough to necessitate getting on with the rest of your life with the rather smug feeling of been there, done that.
Red Red Symons walking modestly down memory lane. The producer was Marianne Latham. And Red Symons will be writing about his Skyhooks days in this week's Bulletin magazine, to be published on Wednesday.
Look up how Shirley died, man. I mean, I know it was a helicopter, but they didn't give no details. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. That was a great documentary, though.
Really well done.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. For those of you that are new to the channel, about it took us a long time to figure out why Australians all thought Americans were insular, because we didn't understand, because these are 50 separate states with separate cultures, everybody everywhere. So, but I realized Jennifer, a channel MVP, told me, she's like, well, Danny's kind of like, we're way out here, and it's kind of like if a bunch of kids were on a playground playing, and you were one kid or two kids that were in a separate lot on the other side of the school, and there's a bunch of fences in between you, and you can barely even hear the kids. You're just waving your hand like, hey, we're over here. Look at me. That made me really understand their viewpoint on it. But I talked to a lot of people, and I think I've helped a lot of people to understand that we're not really insular. It's just that, like they said, import was better than local or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, everything in America is import. We don't know. There's very Grand Funk Railroad, Leonard Skinner. I mean, there's very few bands I can think of that I know are American bands. So maybe country music's kind of like an American thing. But,
yeah.
But even they went and toured London and stuff. So anyway, but all the cultures live here. So
yeah, you can go to a local gas station and see 5, 6 different cultures and nationalities there,
and languages every day, everywhere.
Yeah. So Shirley died in 2001 at the age of 49. He had been an aircraft pilot for many years and was training for a helicopter pilot's license. We wanted to buy a helicopter and take friends and family on surfing safaris. So basically, bad weather blew his chopper off course and it crashed.
Does it say that was the first time he'd ever drove one of those? I'm just curious.
No, it wasn't the first time. He wasn't licensed yet. He still had an instructor with him. Yeah. So
that's terrible, man. He's a cool cat.
Oh no, most definitely. It's interesting how like a band will sort of struggle or sort of keep it even keeled, and they find that one missing piece and they'll explode. Shirley was definitely the missing piece for the Skyhooks. Just a great voice and so much personality. Yeah, and it's. I think stories like that are really interesting, where you have like the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. They go out, they make this huge impression, and then it kind of wanes, because like you said, then they sort of have to reassimilate into normal life or find a way to do it. And I think Shirley actually worked as a presenter and in the media as well before he passed away. So it's also fascinating just like the struggles that bands go through before they hit it big. I mean, we see them when they pop up on YouTube or on before you see them on a music video or a live performance, and you see them as like a finished product. But whereas like so many years went into creating that product, so many different band members trying different lineups, putting bands together as kids and playing at school and shit.
Maybe not so much anymore, but yeah, that's how it was. I mean,
yeah.
I was just riding down the road the other day thinking that, it used to be, like, you go to school or stuff with all your friends, and, everybody didn't have communication. You call a few people, you knew their numbers. Yep. But if the song was on the radio, pretty much everybody knew it, because that's really all you had. You might have some tapes or, that was even before CDs. So, when you made the radio, that was the shit, and now that's almost like frowned upon. It is in the YouTube land anyway. I mean, I have realized that, believe it or not, there are still a lot of people that have no idea what none of these YouTube bands. Look at how many millions of views they got. The people that have no idea who the Warning are and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't reach as vast as we think. I think still radio is the way to become super huge.
Yeah, as far as making music like a shared cultural experience, yeah, you can't beat the radio. Because, you know, especially back in the day before there was streaming and stuff like that. That's how you heard music. You would listen to the radio. You hear the DJ say, "Hey, this song is coming up." If it's one of your faves, you stand there perched like a panther, waiting for that thing to come on. Yeah, you hear that.
Sitting there with the record and play button.
Yeah,
waiting for the song you like, or taping out the commercials.
Yeah. And you know, once that thing, the song played, you know, that energy was in you, but you had to make it last because unless you recorded it, it was gone. And you have to wait for, you know, the next one or for it to be played the next time.
If you have it on tape, you get used to one little glitch or something in the tape, and when you hear it on the radio, you won't hear that glitch. You're like, damn, it's not there.
Yeah.
Shit, it's 35 minutes, so I guess we'll wrap it up. But that was enjoyable. Not really.
It was a great look at a very unique band that I think, especially some people in America, might not be aware of, and just a great look at the culture, not just of Australian music, but of like the 70s in general, and just sort of like the they said just the trials and tribulations of becoming a successful rock band, and then dealing with the aftermath.
So fantastic. Now.
Really
you need
well.
To watch
really
you need to watch the John Farnham movie, man. We got it. It's right there. Watch it. It shows a lot of that culture.
Awesome.
But yeah, love you, Oz, and Dave, thank you. I know you didn't. I don't think you requested this, but you sent me the fucking hat, so that's the least I can do.
Hope you enjoy it, regardless.
Yeah, and we have another Aussie Road Train video I have lined up, and I'm going to be returning to John Farnsey Farnham pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Fucking plumber himself. All right, love you guys. You're a long way away, but we don't give a shit. Peace, love, and damn sausage rolls, because it's a long way to the shop.
Music is your best support group, and they are available wherever you may be.
Mental health is real, damn it. And, love you guys. Be good. OGT, OGL, Audi.